Hello, sir. Morning. My
Good
name,
morning.
my name is Rishikesh. I'm a student of Christ. I'm studying in Christ University in BCom, and mainly the reason for the interview is we are assigned with the CIA, so we have to interview an entrepreneur and get to know about their organization and their strategies and so on. Mm. Sir, can you tell about yourself? Like, what yours?
Okay, so thank you very much for this opportunity. And I'm Samuel Moses Amarnath. So I actually started off in the field of social work. So in the beginning, I was more into um, I completed my bachelor's and master's in social work from St. Joseph's College. And from there forward, I started my own organization. I was working for another organization for other NGOs. And then I wanted to start my own organization. And so I established an organization called United, United, which is ushering needs for underprivileged children. So we started this organization back in 2017, but established it in 2019. Um, so over a period of time, we found a gap in the economy and in the children's lives, where they could not have a sustainable, a continuous way of getting food or getting their education. Where the government was lacking, there was a gap between the systems. So we thought we could come and we could establish. So the organization that we run is very unique. So we try stemming into education and sports. So everything is more of a holistic growth of a child. That's what we plan to look and we foresee. So yeah, so this is what we do, and we are a very small organization. We do not have any websites or anything. We never like scaling up. We like being at the grassroots level. So we have been working for various collisions and more into a collaborative environment, and we work with other organizations, but we always are at the grassroots level. We never want to grow from the grassroots level. So that's about me and about my organization.
Uh, So, what inspired you to develop the idea of starting an NGO?
So the whole aspect came when I was working with another organization, and I saw that the organization was well established and they did have all the aspects, the funds and everything in at one flow. But the whole thing is they did not, they did not, they could not maximize or impact many lives at the same time, because the infrastructure itself started draining out the funds. So that wanted me to bring a change where I thought I could reduce the funds for the infrastructure aspects and try to give more to the beneficiaries or the children who benefit the programs. So that's what was the whole idea, and that's what was my driving factor. So that's how I have modeled the organization to be functioning, where we cut down all our overheads and just focus the direct the funds to the beneficiaries. So that was the whole aspect.
So, what are the challenges at the beginning of your journey that you were able to overcome, like tackle them?
So the beginning of the journey, like everywhere we face, is pretty common. So the whole infrastructure setting up, like when you say like you have to bring in the funds, and the whole idea of bootstrap. So where you individually have to do everything from end to end, like from documentation, from getting the work done, going and getting even a minute aspect of getting a Xerox also becomes a huge burden. So everything is that is the life of an entrepreneur. Like you have to struggle in the beginning, and then after that only you get your Like there is a level till you get your success, and from there onwards it is good. So everything comes into a play. Even the funds also become a huge burden. But over a period of time, you will understand and you will grow out of it. And especially being an entrepreneur, you will, every step is a challenge for you. It'll be very small, and over a period of time, that small challenge will start growing into a bigger challenge. So it's always a challenge.
So like one of the biggest obstacles is like raising funds when you start an organization. So when you started an organization, like what was your strategies and how did you get like starting fund for that?
So, so this is how it actually works. So, uh, I had a lot of challenges of drawing funds, and even now the challenge is still there because organizations, NGO sector is kind of diluted. There are so many NGOs. Like Bangalore itself has around like 3,000 plus NGOs who are like trying to compete rather than trying to impact. So this is a very lucrative kind of a challenge where there is a lot of people in the picture. So now the whole thing about funds is first when I started off, it was more of family who donated towards the cause, and later when people started hearing about the organization through word of mouth, then they came forward and they wanted to give something. So it is more of word of mouth, which works for my organization. Whereas other organizations use various platforms to like social media platforms to donate. But for me, and I would like to, connect with the donors, whoever donated the money and whoever gave the money, to direct come in contact with the beneficiary. So that is my model. So it is more into a direct market kind of an aspect. So as soon as when I look out for funds, I look out for funds who I can meet the donor and the donor can meet the beneficiary as well. So it is a whole circle, and they know where the money is going. So when that comes in, there is a lot of people who love to come and give some funds because they are happy that the money is reaching the end goal. So that's how my funds work, and it is there is a lot of challenge in this because I cannot connect with a corporate company because the corporate companies do not have the same system, do not follow the same system as what I envision to do.
So then how did you use the strategy to market your organization, like raising awareness of for the organization without spending all your resources early?
So that like I said in the beginning, we do a collaborative programs. So what happens is we network with various NGOs, like different organizations, and we do collaborative awareness programs. Like say in uh, like now during the pandemic, we have a lot of awareness camps. So we collaborated with different organizations, and we started camps and started medical camps and distribution of masks and all these kind of awareness programs to help the beneficiaries and help the beneficiaries families as well to be protected and to have a cover on even the dry ration also was done. So these are the kind of things that we do. We strategize, we network with organizations only, and we try to, like through friends and families and through various connections, we try to like expand our growth, but we never want to forget our grassroots level. That is the primary goal. We don't want to expand into a corporate setup or into a next level because we feel that if we do, we will lose the essence of working in the ground level. So that is the whole idea.
So you told like in the beginning, like your organization is like a family startup. So did
Hmm.
you employ anyone, like how did you decide to bring them in the first part of your journey, and like how did you manage it?
Okay, so first of all, the organization is like a family. The reason because I said that was because the people who came together, we all had one vision, and the people on boarded on the organization are more of people who are like-minded and who want to drive, or who have a driving factor to grow the organization into into a cohesive environment where they want to, like, bring in direct direct impact to the beneficiaries. That is what we want to do. And so we hire people, in sense we hire volunteers. Like, we have a lot of volunteers, and we have few content people who come and help us write and bring it into, like, the picture. But otherwise, all the implementation aspects are done by all of us. So everyone takes a time off from their work. They all have a 9 to 5 job, but they make sure they have to take a part out and come and like, get their hands dirty and do work for this organization as well, because it is a must, because they have committed and they are really committed and they want to do something to the society. So that's why they, like, so we hire, but not we don't hire in excess. We hire just for that. If they want to, like, for that part-time job kind of a thing, we do hire a lot of people. They come and they go.
So like now we have pandemic, right? So like pandemic started, so in there, like everything was conducted online. So how did you face it? Did you it was it tough, or like was it easy, or like manageable?
Okay, so I should go back to the first pandemic lockdown. So first pandemic lockdown, we were not aware of what to do. Like, no one was aware to what to do. Everyone was just sitting at home and was really scared of their lives because of the pandemic. So that's what the notion was. So that pandemic, we started trying to uh, teach the beneficiaries, like, how to, like, take classes for them so that they know what they're studying and keep them fit. So their mental well-being was dropping little by little, because the children were not allowed to even go out and play. So they were just sitting at home and just eating, and some children had tabs, some children had phones, so they used to just keep utilizing them. So that was a problem. Actually, it was not okay. So what we started doing is we started trying to find out how many children in the community had tabs and how many children did not have tabs or computers or something, some mode to communicate. So we started going to them and trying to group them. So the whole idea of this grouping was, so the children who had tabs or had a technology gadget available at their end, we wanted to start to take classes for them. So the basic classes we wanted to do was mental health, and we wanted to have a very interactive session where a lot of games were there and a lot of talks about how they can stay at home and play. So that was something which was interesting the children, because they wanted to know different ways to play. And once the technology, since 2000 we started having technology, the time of children playing outside reduced because of all the PSPs and PS4 and all these kind of games started coming in the consoles and games. So children stopped playing and they started forgetting how to play all these kind of games. So that is how we wanted to bring back the childlike in them, and that whole idea was achieved. But in the first pandemic to the second pandemic, it grew better, because the children already knew about us. They knew what we were doing, and immediately they started, as soon as we started sharing the links and we started doing the activities, they just jumped into it, and they wanted to just keep continuing the class. And even if we said tomorrow we will meet at 9 o'clock or something, they were like, no, no, let's keep going for another hour and another half an hour. Let's just keep having the interactive session. But But yeah, this from the first to second, we had a lot of improvement and we fine tuned a lot of things. But keeping that in mind, it was a very successful program that we are doing as of now. And we always write, even now, since the pandemic is still on, we try to keep the online mode active, as well try to go and see if offline we can go and do something to their families and give out some dry ration and help them. So that is how we are trying to balance the whole situation right now.
So, and you told like everyone has a 9 to 5 job, like from
Correct.
then you have to do it. So, and what are you like? Did you provide anything during pandemic for them, like online for the online mode, or like how did the experience of the trainees was it given?
Okay, so that's what, like I said, no. So what we do is we do a baseline survey of what the children or the children's family require during the pandemic. So the first thing is we follow this whole standard called soup soap salvation. So the whole idea is first you give food, and only once you give food, and then only the person will understand you or understand what you're trying to explain. Without feeding on hungry person, you can't. If you go tell something, he's not going to be interested because he just wants to like eat. So that is the whole idea of us. So what we do is we go and do a baseline survey of how many number of beneficiaries, like how many children are there, how many parents are there, what is the income, did they lose their job during the pandemic, what is the whole idea. So we understand that. That is the first situation we understand, and after that what we do is we have a dry ration distribution. So the dry ration distribution lasts for a month. So the ration which we give lasts for a month. Um, Post that is how we get into their lives and try teaching them what like about the whole program I told you right now, how we transformed it to an online mode. So that program happens, and once that program is completed, then we try to bring out the child and the family into a stream. So livelihood restoration, so that's what we call it. So when we do a livelihood restoration, we try to bring the family and we try to connect with them to get into a proper job. So if they during the pandemic they would have lost a job, they might be watchmen, they might be tailors, they're doing all tailoring and working in the textile industry. So all 90% of them had lost their job, so we try to connect them into an upskill job, meaning we do some trainings for them and then we upskill them and then we push them into the market where they can get a better standard of income. They'll be getting, oh, back then they would have been getting around like 200 or 150 per day. That was the income that they'll get, and then now they will be getting around like a salaried income, better job security kind of a thing. So all these kind of aspects, a holistic growth. So when we say one person gets benefited, we say the whole family has to be benefited. So that's the whole idea of our organization.
So, like, I have one last question. So,
Yeah.
what advice would you give to someone who's trying to become an entrepreneur? Like, example, if you take
Okay. So the whole idea is to become an entrepreneur, you just need to have an idea, and that idea has to be energized, and you have to put that energy into that idea. And being an entrepreneur, you have to take it up. The scaling up is the main thing. So you have to scale up. That is the whole idea of it. Until unless you scale up, there is no entrepreneur there. So the whole idea has to come into play, into picture, and that idea should be enriched and should be established and should be recognized by multiple people, and it should have an holistic growth, and the self satisfaction of the entrepreneur should be there. So that is my whole thing.
thanks.